COVID planet, the Hippodrome of Constantinople. We are inside this fabulous shop that houses underground in the basement a beautiful exhibition and a part of the original catacombs of the Hippodrome, the Roman Hippodrome in Constantinople. The exhibition tells a lot about the structure of the Byzantine palace and the structure of the building itself. The example for building the Hippodrome was the Circus Maximus in Roma. Unfortunately, because the landfill, as I told you before, was not big enough, at Meidani, the Hippodrome in Constantinople is 150 meters shorter. As we move through the areas, we will see a scale model, and I will tell you a lot of details about the history. It's very, very well preserved, as you can see. The Hippodrome was designed to host games, chariot races, even naval battles, reconstruction, and it was representing, the Hippodrome arena was representing the whole universe. That was the central ideology. We see here some artifacts and some models. Here is the Sphendoni. As I told you, Sphendoni in Greek means semicircle. And here is the tripod of the Delphi, a reproduction, of course. Now we move on to see the maquette, the model of the Hippodrome. So, as I told you, the Hippodrome was representing the whole universe. There were 12 gates of entrance representing the 12 signs of the zodiac cycle. The tallest obelisk or the needle was representing the sun, and there were 24 gates for the hours of the day. So here, I don't know if you can see, here is the gate, and in the middle of the arena was a huge collection of beautiful artifacts, statues, hermica, stele, and columns. Here is one of the kathisma, the imperial seat, over here, and another one is over here. And here we see the Sphendoni, the circular end of the Hippodrome. On the entrance of the Hippodrome there were 4 bronze fabulous statues, the quadriga, that were stolen by the Crusaders in 1204, and now they are placed in St. Mark's Cathedral in Venice. So the looting was fierce during the 1204 crusade, and many historians agree that the actual sack of Constantinople happened in 1204 and not in 1453 by the Ottomans. So you see now the length and the design, and of course the beautiful space, very beautifully lit. I can still hear drops of water and feel the humidity. So As we saw, the two obelisks. The Egyptian obelisk was lying in the port of Alexandria for 60 years before transported into Istanbul, into Constantinople. An engineer called Proclus was responsible for this feat, but he broke the obelisk, so that's why they constructed this marble base in order to fit the required height, and they put friezes and scenes of the Hippodrome inside. We just saw that. So this is the Kathisma, the imperial box, and one of the statues on the top was the statue of Emperor Justinianos. It reminds me a lot of the iconography of the popular warrior saints of the Christian or Orthodox religion, such as Saint Demetrius and Saint George. The beautiful shop sells reproductions of the sculptures of the Hippodrome. One of them is an Hermaiki stele with the bust of Thucydides, who was one of the most prominent men of the Athenian crowd. Here is a sculpture of Hercules fighting the lion of Nemea. Keep in mind that what you see and what I show you now are bronze miniatures, but they were adorning the arena of the Hippodrome in normal size. Here on the plexiglass box we see the statue of Zeus, Diaz, holding the scepter and the thunder. Of course this central area where all these artifacts were on exhibition, on show, was called the Evripos. So here we see the sculpture of Athena, daughter of Diaz, and her mother was Metis. She was the most important goddess and a protectress saint of the city of Constantinople. As I told you, on top of the burnt column was lying one of her statues, probably this one. Here we see a cut architectural section of the underground areas, the arcades, and the rooms under the Sphendoni. In one of those rooms we're probably now ourselves. Now we move to the carceres, the starting boxes, where on top these are the gates where the warriors and the chariots were entering. There are some tourists coming, apparently. So these are the bronze horses that are now in St. Mark's Square.